get in my camo, and Jeff and I go off to our first stand that evening. We were kind of down in a ground blind, you know, we didn't see a whole heck of a lot. Saw a few nice deer come in. There were probably 3 or 4, probably 4-year-old deer that were nice deer, but I really had decided that I wanted to shoot a mature deer, you know, and I was going to let any of the smaller ones just kind of pass. I'd rather shoot the mature ones. So saw some nice deer, but they weren't exactly what I was looking for. It was nice to just kind of immediately get your routine and get into things, and Jeff and I called it a night that evening, and we're excited to get out the next morning.
Now, after passing on some deer in his first night at camp, Ted Gartner from Garmin is bow hunting early in the morning, looking for a mature whitetail that Wade has captured on his scouting cameras.
Got up the next morning, and Jeff and I got into our stand, and almost immediately, I mean within a couple of minutes, we started hearing things. Kind of some traffic down in the creek bed, but it was all too dark. We couldn't see anything, but we knew there was activity going on around.
You know, the deer come from all different directions on this particular stand, so, you know, when you're hunting it, you got to be pretty on the spot. Got to be, you know, pretty much looking for anything. But the one challenge with this particular stand, it's going to get light very, very, very late, because the canopy of trees that's around it, I mean, it's almost like hunting under an umbrella.
And Wade kind of talked me through it, you know, where the shooting lanes were, what I needed to do, kind of some of the deer that he had been seeing on trail cameras. Sounded like some really nice deer, and one that kind of caught my attention was this 8-point, and Wade kind of said, you know, this deer, he's a mature deer, his horns just kind of keep going up and up and up. And that sounded pretty good to me. So Wade the night before had told me to go ahead and stand up and kind of get in position before the light really got good, so that I wouldn't have to do that when there were big deer under me. So I did that, and all of a sudden the world kind of woke up around me. A lot of deer started milling around, you know, all shapes and sizes, and then before long, this big deer came out, this big 8-point deer, and he was everything Wade had said and more. And immediately, my heart rate started amping up. So as it started getting light, I started seeing this buck a little bit better, and I knew he was the buck I wanted. There was no question about it. But the trouble was, it was much too dark for me to shoot, and even darker for Jeff to get any photography of this deer. So you know, we waited and we waited, and that only increased my anticipation and my heart rate. It was such a tense time, an exciting time. I was shaking, you know, breathing heavy. It was pretty exciting. I remember about a half dozen times where I would turn back to Jeff and just kind of with a look in my eye, can I shoot yet? Is it light enough? Every time he shook his head no. And that was excruciating. I knew it was in my head, I knew it was too dark to shoot, but in my heart I wanted to draw back on that deer right away. So I finally looked back, and Jeff gave me the okay, and that's all I needed. He gave me the okay. The deer started walking from left to right in front of me. I drew back, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to hold draw very steadily for very long. So I drew back, I put the pin where I wanted to, and I let go. The feeling that I felt after that was just elation. I knew I had had a pretty good shot. Thought it might be a little far back, but I was pretty proud of my shot, and it was a fast one. I know that much. But Jeff and I kind of did the whole high five thing, and you know, we waited for a while and got down from our stands. And Wade's rule is you got to wait at least 2 hours before you track a deer that's been hit by an arrow. So we went back to camp and kind of talked things over then. Well, we're down here at the scene of the crime, so to speak, and we've got the search party assembled, and we're gonna go try to find this deer. We went back, had a breakfast taco, and analyzed the tape. We think we've got a decent hit. It's just a matter of tracking the deer down. Jeff and I saw some blood, but didn't push the deer. So now we're gonna go try to find him, see what happens.
You know, this is always a fun time for a bow hunter, or any hunter really, when you're taking a shot and you know you made a pretty good shot, but you want to find blood, you want to find sign, you want to find the arrow, and get a good feeling about the trail. But we're giving this deer about a little over 2 hours now, and that's kind of our rule of thumb. Even if we know we made a perfect shot, we like to give them 2 hours, and then we deduct and figure it out from there. So we'll get on the track and see what we can't find.
We got some blood, a little bit more than the first, some down here.
Yeah, all over that.
Pretty good.
Makes you feel a little better. Yeah, he probably stopped right in here. You can see all the blood where he, you know, kind of stood. I mean, hopefully he's gonna start staggering now, but that's a lot of blood loss right there. You know, I mean, look at that right there. I mean, that's a steady pool of blood right there.
We were not able to find this deer that evening, and went back to deer camp, and I was not in a real good place. And you know what? Nobody at camp was. It's one of those things where it's just tough, and everybody at deer camp understands what that is to lose a deer, and it's a sickening feeling. I went to bed that night, and I spent a lot of hours tossing and turning. It was not a fun night to be me.
Well, the next morning, to boost morale, Wade let Ted go out on an aoudad hunt to lift his spirits. But as Ted and Jeff were headed to the stand, the local Air Force, buzzards, found Ted's deer for him. So Ted decided to have a little fun with Wade.
All right, well, we came out here to look for this buck, and we got him loaded into the truck. But Wade said, you know what, why don't you go out, if you don't, see anything, why don't you, maybe shoot an aoudad or a cold buck or something like that. Just to kind of lift my spirits, and I needed it. At deer camp, when one guy doesn't find his deer, it pains everybody. So, that's kind of a cool thing about deer camp. Another thing about deer camp is we kind of like to play jokes on one another. So we're gonna shut this up, spin a tall tail, and tell Wade to help us pull this aoudad out of the back of the truck, and we'll see what his reaction is.
It's always a good sign when a truck pulls up to the back of the swing set. That usually means that something's been harvested. Now we got to go probably clean, and where he's hunting, there's no telling. What we do, Ted?
We got an aoudad down, man.
It didn't take long.
No, it didn't. I mean, we just sat down in that blind, and they just started coming in. It was weird, though. I mean, they came in from the left,
right,
and about 20 yards out, it was almost a replay of the shot that I had on that deer. Oh no! Here we go again, and hit him. Went less than 100 yards.
Oh, sweet.
Boom. Not the hugest guy in the world, not, but I'm proud of him.
Aoudads are awesome. I don't care how big they are.
Excited.
They make a great mount.
Yeah, let's take a look at him.
Get him out. Son of a gun. Oh my God.
We got him.
Wow, where'd you find him?
The buzzards found him.
Holy cow.
Yeah, he's a little light in the back.
Wow. When I dropped that tailgate, I was just stunned. I mean, I didn't even know what to say there, but it's once again, it proves to you that, a buzzard A buzzard may be the ugliest thing you see on the side of the road. It might eat raccoons and possums and everything sitting on there, but I'm gonna tell you right now, to a deer hunter, that's a Victoria's Secrets model. I mean, when you see one flying around where you've been hunting at and you've lost a deer and he's going to the ground and you go there and he's there, he's the prettiest thing around.